throw any more attention onto this individual, Leah Thomas, but there's been an update in the story, and it's pretty dark. You know, you sort of wonder what drives these individuals to suddenly wake up one day and say that I want to be a woman. Well, Leah Thomas, you know, the UPenn swimmer, failed at everything as a male swimmer and then began dominating at...
That's not true. Leah Thomas, when she performed as a male, was very talented. Like, didn't she do pretty well? Literally just lying. I don't think she was like #1, but she was super, super talented. Hold on. Thomas began swimming on the men's team at UPenn in 2017 during her freshman year, recorded a time of 8:57, the 1,000-yard freestyle, that ranked as the 6th fastest national men's time. Just an absolute failure. You're only the 6th fastest swimmer in America. Sorry, idiot. Sorry, Leah. Just a nobody. Just nonstop failure. Can you imagine? Imagine not being the 5th fastest swimmer in the United States of America as a freshman swimmer. Freshman year. Actually, very good. On the men's swim team in 2018 to 2019, Thomas finished 2nd in the men's 500, 1,000, and 1650. 2nd in all 3? That's insane. In the freestyle at the Ivy League Championships as a sophomore, during the 2018 to 2019 season, Thomas recorded the top university men's team time in the 500 free, 1,000 free, and 1650 free. Yeah, what a loser. 6th fastest national men's time, 2nd in all 3 distance categories, and then top speed in the 500,000 and 1650 free. What a loser, dude. Not even literally being Michael Phelps. Imagine. Couldn't be me. Yeah, I could swim faster. Probably, yeah. I haven't been in a pool in years, but I bet I could. Imagine not literally being a dolphin.
As a female swimmer. And we would think that essentially Leah Thomas just wanted to win, and that would be an element of this. Leah Thomas began winning. He began winning when
she was winning when she performed as a man. The last thing she did as a sophomore was winning in the 500,000 and 1650 free categories at a top. Like, she was.
He switched his gender, air quotations for that. But there's a little more that
when she swapped her chromes, as the kids call it, when she flipped the script, gender, I don't know.
That meets the eye, obviously, and some of these people have a lot more going on, and a lot more going on meaning sexual fetishes. But
yeah, couldn't be me. Sexual whoa, that's not good. So. We're going right back to like early 1900s slender. Let's go.
Don't take it from me. Take it from Riley Gaines. We've covered her on the show. An incredibly brave young woman, an NCAA swimmer who is basically saying this is ridiculous. Why are we having so many males that we are forced to compete with in this sport? She's basically calling out the NCAA for this absurdity. Well, she's
what's their name again?
Who has been on the show, an incredibly brave young woman, an NCAA swimmer who is basically...
Wait, is the name not being said?
Saying this is ridiculous. Why are we having so many males that we are forced to compete with in this sport? She's basically...
Riley Gaines, that's the name? Riley Gaines, that sounds like a porn name. Ah, yes, this is the person who's been bitching about Leah Thomas. And what has this person accomplished? Yes, Riley Gaines, save women's sports. Oh yeah, this is the person who gave us this phenomenal article recently, which exposes, no pun intended, Leah Thomas for being naked in a locker room. Leah Thomas exposed male genitalia in women's locker room after meet, Riley Gaines says, dropped his pants. I can't. What a sick freak, being naked in a changing room. Changing what? Changing gender? Huh? Perhaps? Maybe? Curious. Imagine losing to Leah Thomas when having a dick would only introduce more drag and make you less aquadynamic. Imagine Leah Thomas is not only pumping her body full of weakness hormones, aka estrogen, she also has a... What are the things on airplanes called? Air brake? what are they called? An anti-aquadynamic, hydrodynamic, biological feature. And still losing. Crazy. Drag shoot, yeah. Basically, Leah Thomas basically has one of those, like, Kerbal Space Program high-altitude parachutes deployed at all times. And she's still losing to her. Imagine. The Riley Gaines girl qualified for the U.S. Olympic trials, so she was really good objectively. Yeah, well, it doesn't stop her from having a loser's attitude, it seems.
Calling out the NCAA for this absurdity. Well, she sat down with Jake Crane from Crane & Co., which is a sports show over here at the Daily Wire, and here's what she had to say. Take a listen.
A sports show at the Daily Wire, so it's a conservative show themed on sports. How much do you think this Daily Wire-backed sports show talks about trans women? Like, what, 40, 50% of their runtime?
Let it, there will be men pretending to be women that ruin women's sports.
But ranking first was a person I had never heard of before. And of course, this name was Leah Thomas. Leah Thomas did, in fact, form
a total nobody who had done nothing before. Definitely hadn't gotten top times in the 500, 1,000, and 1650, the previous year coming in second in all of those formats, and also was the 6th fastest swimmer in a given category in the whole United States.
Formerly swim on the men's team for 3 years. I thought surely the NCAA wouldn't let this person compete with us. The NCAA official looks at me and says, "Great job, y'all tied. The trophy goes to Leah." And he said, "Well, for photo purposes, Leah has to have it."
Wow. Leah Thomas, who used to be Will Thomas, is now dating someone that used to be a man that's now a woman, and they consider themselves lesbians.
Yes, that is how that works. Okay, not to do like the your identity is more valid if you pass bullshit, because I don't believe that. But this literally looks like a picture of two cisgender lesbians. It's just very funny to me that they would show this picture of them both being cute and in love and be like, this perverted degeneracy. Like, why couldn't you find like a worse picture or something? I feel like you're not really selling them on the point here, you know? It's like they just look happy. These
Someone that used to be a man that's now a woman, and they consider themselves lesbians.
Very interesting dynamic. The things they practice actively are interesting.
What are we getting at here? What? Wait, I actually want to know. What are you privy to, person who isn't friends with either of them? I assume. What they rub their boobies together. The transbians. Wait, I need to get in the voice. You see, the transbians, they rub their boobies together. They smush them like so, and it's disgusting.
They cut off parts of their male parts, but left other parts.
So they had orchiectomies when you remove the balls? That would make sense. The scrotum is like the Kerbal Space Program parachute that I was referring to. You see, the penis is hydrodynamic, but the scrotum, when introduced to high-velocity water pressure, actually opens and folds out into like the size of a dinner plate. How is this a kink, by the way? This is just... a lot of trans women get, I think they're called orchiectomies, which is when you get the balls removed, because the dick on its own doesn't produce any hormones, but the balls do, right? So, like, if you get the balls removed, then it's like you don't have the testosterone factory, but maybe you still want to keep the dick? Isn't that a pasta shape? Orchiectomy? Yeah, probably. It's probably a pasta shape. I can even guess what shape it would be. Can you even get an erection without balls? I have no idea. Maybe some? I don't know. They say, some people in chat say yes. Where they dispose of the old balls? I guess you just get to keep them. You get to make like a coin purse out of them, I assume. Balls have nothing to do with erections. Okay. I don't know. I haven't done any independent test samples. I have a dick and balls. I'm probably always going to have both a dick and balls. And I'm fine with that, you know. Erections are from increased blood flow to the dick. Yes, I know that, but you could reasonably assume, like, maybe removing the balls would in some way impede that function. If it doesn't, that's fine. That's great, you know? I'm just saying I don't think it's dumb to assume that. Do you think we should just ungenderify sports and have all sexes and genders compete against each other and simply have skill divisions? Look, the problem here is that sports are naturally genetically unfair to begin with, okay? Like, Michael Phelps may be male like me, but Michael Phelps is biologically half fish. This has nothing to do with sex in his case, with him and I. It's just he's him and I'm me. Are trans women going to have an advantage against cis women in some sports if they haven't, like, done the full hormone gamut? Yes, because biologically, males are a lot stronger and a lot more physically capable than females. But a lot of that gets undone with hormone treatment. There is definitely a lot of stuff you can do to mitigate that. I'm pretty sure that if you have if you do the whole like hormone suppression thing, if you're like a trans girl who does the hormone blockers into estrogen thing, you never have a male puberty, and like physically you're basically just like a female. Like all of the skeletal growth and muscular growth, like everything in your body, it's like if it's not fully, it's like way more like female than male, like massively so. You're in the acceptable range of like expected female performance and athleticism, I think. But like the ultimate issue here is that none of this is actually about fairness in women's sports. Women's sports have been unfair in a lot of ways for a long time. There are literally top female athletes who are female who have gotten precluded from Olympic participation because they have high natural testosterone levels. Doesn't it make sense that a high-performing female athlete would have higher testosterone levels? Like, Michael Phelps probably has pretty high T levels himself, you know? More so than the average guy. It's just like it's testosterone. It jumps you up, you know. This isn't about fairness. It's about attacking trans people. Cons have never given a shit about women's sports. I'm old enough to remember back when like women's sports was a punchline to every even remotely conservative guy. The idea of caring about women's athleticism was a joke to them. It was like funny, like haha, these little women doing their sports, you know, not real sports, not men's sports. But now suddenly they care, all because it gives them an excuse to dump on trans women. So I don't give a shit. I do not care. I don't give a if an army of trans women invade women's sports. And the reason for that is because it's just not a real problem. This isn't a real problem. It's not really happening. This isn't an actual like issue. It reminds me of that one state governor who said that he did not want to pass any legislation barring trans women from women's sports because there were literally 3 trans people playing in sports in the entire state. Yeah, in Utah? Yeah. There was literally 3 trans people playing sports in the entire state. And after the governor vetoed the law, it went back to the state Congress, and the state Congress passed it with a supermajority. That's how crazy they are. We are literally talking about laws that are so niche and so meaningless that they're basically targeting single individuals. So the idea that like any of this matters is total bullshit. I just don't care. I will never care.
Testicles are in a jar.
Stop.
We were being sidelined to validate
Yeah, see, keep in the jar. She'll make a coin purse out of it.
the feelings and the identity of a man.
She isn't wrong. A man with really bizarre sexual fetishes, and there's a lot more there.
What sexual? Wait, what fetish? What are we talking about? What are we talking about? This is a sports show? Yeah, a very serious sports show, yeah.
Unpack, by the way. You should find Jake Crane's Twitter feed. He's done a long thread on this, unpacking the fact that Leah Thomas, he has actually 2 accounts. One is the public interfacing account where Leah Thomas says, oh, we just need more trans swimmers and more, the social account, right? He's here for his social credit. But then he has...
Whoa. A famous athlete has a public Twitter account? What? I like how when we're talking about trans people, even the most innocuous and straightforward things imaginable suddenly become this like weird, suspicious thing. Like, yeah, so they actually have 2 accounts. One is this forward-facing like social clout thing. Yeah? You don't say. Really?
An anonymous account, a more anonymous account people don't know about. They've unpacked what's in that account. Essentially, Leah Thomas, he is allegedly engaging with autogynephilia.
Really? What does that mean exactly? It's never really meaned anything when I hear it used before. So we've leaked the private. Okay, we have the Daily Wire, ostensibly like a conservative news show. The Leah Thomas story just got darker. And the actual contents of this video are, we found Oomphy found the private account and leaked your DMs. Okay.
Accounts and multiple accounts that are pertaining to autogynephilia. In case you don't know that, that is a male's propensity to be sexually aroused by the thought of himself as a female, right?
So what was actually, this could mean literally this. So what's being described right now could literally be like, I feel so hot today. Picture of like Leah Thomas's hourglass body with like a selfie or something. It could be literally like posting selfies. Oh, wow, I look so hot today. That's literally like, what are we talking about?
Right. So we talk about men that like to get panties and wear them and stand
These depraved sexual fetishes. Like a trans woman wearing panties. Crazy. Oh my God.
in the mirror. That's autogynephilia. And it's very clear in looking at these posts that the person that is engaging has this. It would make perfect sense that Leah Thomas is becoming aroused by the fact that he is dressing as a woman.
Do we have like anything here? It's just her talking. I want to be clear, by the way, getting aroused by how you look. Have you ever been with a woman? I'm sure Candace Owens is like a sexless ghoul and is dried up down there. But have you ever, look, have you not ever like seen a woman dress up in like sexy lingerie and she looks in the mirror and then she gets turned on by how she looks because the way she looks is like inherently sexual because she's dressed up in sexy lingerie? Like the clothing that she's wearing. Like, is this uncommon? Is this like an unusual thing, I think? Hold on. I have the ultimate rebuttal. Hold on. I have the ultimate rebuttal. What now? What now? What do you have to say to this? Do we have an issue with it now? Huh? Huh? Okay, not to taint this otherwise responsible segment with degenerate anecdotes or whatever, but like, I'm a pretty big guy. I'm like 6'2", and a lot of the people that I've had sex with, men or women, or non-binary people, are a lot smaller than me. What this usually means is that if I'm like railing them in doggy, and I see like us in the mirror, my hands are like basically reaching halfway across from their hips to the middle of their torso, you know? And I'm not gonna lie, it does kind of turn me on a bit to be like, damn, I'm just like so big compared to this person. I'm basically like, they're basically like a fleshlight that I'm just moving with my large arms, you know? To the extent that this could be considered autoandrophilia, I don't know, but I genuinely think it's not that uncommon for something about your presentation to kind of turn you on in some contexts. Is that really that uncommon? Like, everything gets called degenerate when it's involved, when it has something to do with like trans people, but I seriously think this isn't that uncommon of a thing. Like, if we're to dial it back a bit and maybe like go to a more like, I guess, normie, accessible variant of this tendency, I think you could look at like James Bond in a tuxedo. Because I genuinely think that a huge part of the appeal of characters like James Bond is the idea of like the power fantasy and wish fulfillment of getting to be like an ultra suave, super dressed up, cool, masculine, sexy secret agent. And I think part of the fantasy here, the idea of like, oh, you could be that guy, is kind of the idea of like, you're like rocking it. And the context of you looking like this enhances the perceived like sexuality of your engagements with women or whatever. Like, oh, you're not just talking to a woman at a bar. You look in a mirror and you look like this. Even though you're fully dressed, you're dressed in a masculine fashion. Like, you look suave, you look in a masculine way, like fashionable and cool and compelling. And that's like, yeah, it's part of the fantasy. And that fantasy, part of that fantasy is sexual fulfillment, which is one of the reasons why getting laid is a core component of basically all Bond films. So I fully think like the term autogynephilia is 100% a fake psyop to attack trans women. It's totally not real. It was a medicalized term. Foucault would love this. A medicalized term created to otherize behavior that everyone engages in when it's being done by trans women. You know?
And rather than getting this individual away from women, we are playing into his fetish. We are allowing him into women's lockers room. We are allowing him to get dressed.
We haven't. Are you not even going to like show posts about how it's a fetish or what? Like, are we not like anything? Like, it's just nothing? Literally, like, she took photos of her in panties? Damn, that's crazy. I hate it when girls do that.
The women are getting dressed. He's aroused by this. It's very evident when you unpack this Twitter feed. So again, I can't go through all of it because there's a lot of handles, and I think that it would be confusing. But
There's nothing. This was a video. The Leah Thomas story just got darker. In a private Twitter account, she posted a picture of her in panties.
find at
Millennials be like, don't talk to me before I have my auto coffophilia. True. I've already had 2 cups today.
Jake Crane _ on Twitter, and you will see the images that Leah Thomas is engaging with.
You know what? F it. Host Jake Crane, host of national sports show Crane Company, 40K followers. Whew, I lapped this guy. So this is from February 15th. Like all professional conservatives, they tweet all the time, so just give me a second. I know there's a way to search for a given thread. Oh, here we go. Here we go. This is a thread we never expected to write. We sat down with NCAA women's swimmer Riley Gaines, and she shared some info about Leah Thomas. So we did some digging, and now we have a lot of questions. Is this what the NCAA thinks a woman is? Warning, what we found is jarring. Obviously, if it's bad, I'm not going to show you guys. But I'm going over it. If it's already a public Twitter thread, I'm here. Let's see. Leah Thomas has 2 Instagram accounts, a public one and a private one. That's crazy. In our research, we found the observant Where's Walro, who identified multiple IG posts about autogynephilia that Leah Thomas allegedly engaged with. AGP is a male's propensity to be sexually aroused by the thought of himself as a female. And what we're looking at here is, I kid you not, I can show this, right? Okay, I can. I kid you not, these are like TTTT cell AGP trans girl in jokes. Talking about sexuality with my HSTS friends versus talking about sexuality with my AGP friends. This is literally like trans shit posting. We have uncovered the secret trans shit posting account by Leah Thomas. Liked on a private Insta account. Phenomenal. This is egg IRL shit. I didn't know what to expect necessarily, but the fact that right off the bat we're showing like the exact kind of meme post that I would see from like Oomfies anyway. Vosh, here's a study from 2009. 93% of cis women would be classified as autogynephilic. CW language in this is a touch transphobic because it's 2009. Autogynephilia in women. Let me see. By the common definition of ever having erotic arousal to the thought or image of oneself as a woman, 93% of respondents would be classified as autogynephilic. Interesting. Okay, I desperately wish that I could show this image on stream, but I can't. Because Leah Thomas liked an image, which looks like it is a cartoon drawing, drawn with the simplicity of like, I don't know, that popular children's book, Wimpy School Kid Diary, except it's 2 trans women hugging while laying down, and their dicks are touching tips. And it's hilarious because it's drawn like a shitpost. Here, hold on. I can link it in chat. I can do that much. Copy link to tweet. Here we go. Chat, your reactions will give context to people who are watching the VOD later. There we go. Yeah. So that the Leah Thomas story just got darker. Yeah. The tips are touching. Exposed. And then there are some posts about Leah Thomas's girlfriend. Unlike Leah Thomas' account, the account of Leah Thomas's girlfriend is open to the public. Besides posting in front of bondage gear and bikinis with a genital bulge, I'm not risking YouTube TOS or whatever. It's literally just like standard e-girl lewd posting. With a genital bulge. One liked by Leah Thomas, ironically joking that Leah will bring about the collapse of Western civilization, and another of Leah as a demonic dominatrix character. And this is what it looks like. Really glad we're undergoing this. Really glad. The rapid collapse of Western civilization brought on by the one and only first trans NCAA champion of all time, aka Leah Thomas. I love you forever, BB. and it's looks like a colored pencil. It's crayon, some kind of drawing. It's a good drawing. It's good, you know. That's fine with YouTube TOS. Okay, so hold on. These images here don't even have any context associated with them. So part of this expose is literally just there are spooky drawings. Literally, like we investigated this private Instagram account and we found drawings of D&D characters liked by Number 8 on the expose. Are Gwen and Leah an exclusive couple, or are they in a polyamorous sex pod? One user, Crybaby Hellbitch, writes, nice polycule, liked by Gwen, on a photo of Leah, Gwen, and 2 other trans people. In the post, Gwen tags a third member via a stuffed animal in bed with Leah. The Leah Thomas story just got darker. So here are people taking photos of themselves, like autogynephiles, of course. And as you can see, 27 weeks ago, one individual called Crybaby Hellbitch says, cute, nice polycule lol, with 1 like. The Leah Thomas story just got darker. Here's a stuffed animal who tagged somebody. Is the stuffed animal in the polycule? Are they having sex with the stuffed animal? Well, they're trans women, so probably. And then some context for the people in the audience who don't know the Google Wikipedia definition of polycule. This is no shit in the expose tweet thread. I cannot overstate how funny this is. This is literally just a photo of a group of friends, and one comment says, nice polycule Lamau. Are they in a polycule? Dun-dun! This is the most boomer shit. Yeah, no, it absolutely is. Number 9. Gwen, in the dark top, has also posted photos with one member from the transgender polycule post, and a third additional person who identifies as a mean transsexual, according to their IG bio, each kissing each other on a trio beach trip. And it is literally just 3 girls at the beach and they kiss each other. They do kisses. Their boobies aren't even touching. The Leah Thomas story just got darker. Number 10. I'm sorry, I'm not finding this less funny with time. Perhaps normalcy can be found in Leah's wider social circle, like her friend Crybaby Hellbitch, who poses besides Leah in multiple group photos, or not. Crybaby Hellbitch is another trans person with a hypersexual abuse fetish, or as she calls it, gory and stunning. And what we're what we're arriving at from this, first of all, this is the level of like expose, like transvestigation nonsense we're engaging in. This is a photo with like 20 people in it. And then on their page, so we're literally, it's like, if you've been in a photo with Leah Thomas, now we're going through your thing. And what we've determined by going through your thing is that you're an evil degenerate, as made clear by this post over 1 year ago, where you mounted a dildo on a wall and put a Christmas wreath around it. Dun-dun! The story about Leah Thomas has just gotten darker. There's also a photo that I can't show, which is just the aforementioned Crybaby Hellbitch with bruises on their ass and legs, presumably because Dom beat the shit out of them. It's been known to happen, folks. Real and true. Not showing that one, though. Number 11. One of the more shocking things we discovered. On July 16th, 2022, Gwen posted a series of photos of herself and Leah with the caption, "Cherry Cherry Scissors." Supportive Crybaby Hellbitch commented, "Ballless beauties," which Gwen and Leah Thomas both liked. And that's it. That's the end. That's it. That's it. That's the deep expose. The Leah Thomas story just got darker. Quit your lying, it goes further. The only post after that one is one that's actually shown in the Candace Owens video, the one of her with the balls in the jar, which is incredibly funny. But we already saw that. They really just want to kill us? Oh, yeah, for sure. Keep in mind, the fact that a moral panic is being manufactured over stuff this objectively mundane and irrelevant means they just want trans people dead. That's it. There's literally no behavior here to object to other than the existence of those people.
That Leah Thomas is engaging with his boyfriend because they are both male. That is the truth. They are biological men. They are men. And it is ridiculous for us to pretend otherwise.
Then how can they smush their boobies together? Curious.
All right, guys, you know how this works. The next portion of the show is going to be available exclusively on Daily Wire Plus.
That's it. That's literally it. That's what they got. The Leah Thomas story just got darker. Oh man, it's so funny. You wouldn't like what Candace thinks about mental health. Yes, I'm aware of the fact that Candace Owens, again, in ranting against therapy, Candace Owens, we all assume that you have moments of vulnerability. We all do. All I'm saying is we don't want to hear about it. Stop, button it up, let it burn in your chest. Now, keep in mind that wealthy and powerful people like Candace Owens have therapists. They are on drugs all the time. The reason, like, keep in mind, remember Jordan Peterson, who's like, don't critique the world until your house is in order, and meanwhile, he's off his mind on drugs? The reason they actually want this is because they want young guys to be deeply mentally ill because it makes it more likely they'll shoot up a gender therapy clinic or whatever. Happy people don't be conservative. Mental wellness leads people away from the far right.